welcome to another episode of Sharing is Caring. My name is Klaus Meisel from Agile Get Together, and today's guest is freelance UX UI designer Michelle Hausen. And Michelle is talking about instant gratification today. But before we start, Michelle, welcome. Great to have you here today.
Yeah, hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here too, of course. And little introduction about myself. Like Klaus already mentioned, I'm a UX UI designer, been self-employed since 2019. And yeah, since then, just been traveling a lot and working for different industries and different companies. And since then, I've been more focused on the UX part, just because I think it's super interesting to see what is behind the product, behind the features. Why are we doing that? What are people or users in particular? What do they feel? How do they think? So been focused more on that just because I think it's extremely interesting. It's like the psychological part of humans.
Yeah, great. Thank you for this short introduction. Great that you are here today, and you brought a very interesting topic. I already mentioned it. It's instant gratification, and I think it is something you've been dealing with the last weeks or quite a time, writing an article and doing things like that. And yeah, if you want to, we can jump right in.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, just like you said, I've been researching the topic of instant gratification. I just stumbled upon it pretty much, and I didn't even know the term before I read about it. And so like I said, I've been researching it, and instant gratification, to explain it pretty simple, is that it's the desire to fulfill a need, and that instantly. So, and by need, I don't necessarily mean a need like eating, like a normal one that everyone has. It could be anything. It could be the need to just watch the movie that just came out. So, and since, society changed, digitization and all of this, we're constantly surrounded by those instant gratification moments, whether that's the Netflix movie or instant messaging. Everything is instant nowadays. Yeah, so when we have this desire to fulfill a need, it's because of chemical processes in the brain. If we get something we want, there's a dopamine release and other neurotransmitters that are released. And yeah, that makes us want more of them, of course. And in general, it's not a bad thing, especially with how it is nowadays, that it's all around us. But doing that, like giving into the desire every time, means that it gets harder for us to actually delay the gratification. And why would we delay the gratification? Because there might be a greater outcome in the future. A good example is being on a diet. We put in the work of working out, eating healthy, and all this for a greater outcome, which could be losing weight. So it makes sense to not give into the temptation of eating a piece of cake because we're on a diet and we want to lose weight. But the whole decision process of that it seems pretty simple, but it's also really difficult for us, because eating the piece of cake means enjoying pleasure immediately, and we're seeking those moments. So yeah, like I said, it's just really hard with the constant instant gratification moments that companies provide us, that are all around us, just personal stuff too, to be able to keep up with something that might reward us in the future.
Yeah, I remember this. I think it's called the marshmallow experiment. I heard about in a workshop where children get one marshmallow, but when they don't eat it within, I don't know, 10 minutes, they get a second one. And I think that's exactly the thing you were talking about right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I'm not 100% sure if it's like the first time that that kind of experiment was done or if there were others before that. But yeah, that's one that is very famous and is like, I think probably the source of why this instant gratification term became popular. And yeah, like the problem with instant gratification, besides not being able to delay it, is also that it can have effects on us personally, but also on society as a whole. There's, for us personally, it could be feeling anger, tension, anxiety because we don't get something immediately. Um, Personally, I noticed that when I ordered something. We're so used to it nowadays to get something pretty quick. I mean, we can order groceries and get it within hours. So I noticed that when I ordered something and it was supposed to be delivered the next day, but because of some circumstances, it didn't get delivered, I got angry about it. And without even really noticing it. But the thing is, most of the times it doesn't really matter if we got it that day or a day later. So why would we even get angry about it? And that's the thing with this instant gratification, that there's so much involved in this. It's the self-control we need to exert to make a decision. Then the decision process, of course, weighing on different options. What is the best option that is aligned with our goals and the emotions we want to feel? And then, like I just said, the emotional part. All of our decisions are backed by emotions, even if we don't notice it. There's always some kind of process that connects to the emotions, whether that's like consciously thinking about how it's going to make us feel if we decide to take option A, B, or C, or if it's reminding ourselves how we felt in a similar situation in the past and using that to decide which is the better option. So, yeah, it's a huge, complex process, and we most of the time we don't even notice it, but it is there. And the main thing, the main outcome or main takeaway is we're looking for pleasurable experiences. We are trying to avoid pain. That is just a natural thing that was given to us to survive. And that is why we're, yeah, looking for pleasure. And yeah, like I mentioned before, it also has impacts on society as a whole. A good example for that is the fast fashion industry. They thrive because we give into our instant gratification. And of course, companies want to make profits, so why not use it? And there's a new trend. We want to be part of the trend, so we buy that new jacket, even though there's going to be a new trend in 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and we're probably going to throw away the jacket or have it in our closet for weeks, months, years. So it all like plays into that. And that's not the only example. There's multiple things how instant gratification affects us personally and society as a whole.
Is there yeah, I don't know if I can call it solution or a suggestion from your side? You already said it's not bad to go for instant gratification from time to time, but this constant pressure to get this instant gratification is the problem maybe. So yeah, do you think there's a solution, or what would you recommend?
Yeah, so I mean, there's multiple ways, of course, for personally to get better at it. There's different ways you can do it. Like, first of all, is of course acknowledge the emotions you have. Like, really think about them and find the triggers for them to be able to say, okay, I'm not going to scroll through social media right now. I'm not happy with the task I'm doing right now, but I need to do it. So I'm going to delay social media until like in an hour, for example. So there's those tiny little things everyone can do to better it. But then, of course, like same with plastic pollution, everyone as individual can do something, but we also have the big industries. And if we do something, they of course need to do something too. And it's the same here. Companies and industries need to work on it too. Um, Companies have been so focused on getting profit, which is fine, they gotta live too. But we need to think about how sustainable and how ethical it is. And I think for companies, one of the solutions would be to focus more on the happiness about the emotional part and memories, because emotions are also huge for memories. We memorize situations by the way we felt in those. So I think it's more important to do that than, for example, use dark UI patterns, which is also a way of instant gratification, how companies use that to trick you into doing something you probably didn't even want to do.
Yeah, we're already coming to the end so quick as always. What is your conclusion, Michelle, about this topic?
Well, I would say that it's not just that one person has to work on it because of a situation or anything. It's we all have to work on this individually and as society as a whole to minimize the impact it has on us and on things like fast fashion, for example. And how to do that is with the general saying, repetition is the key to mastery. The more we practice it, the more we do it, the better we get at it.
Perfect. That's a good ending. So thank you very much for being here today, for sharing this great insights with us. Everyone who is watching or listening now, as always, feel free to comment, ask questions, give feedback. And yeah, Michelle, once again, thank you. And yeah, have a good rest of the week.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Have a good week.